Closing arguments now, Monday, in the trial of a woman accusing former President Donald Trump of raping her in a department store in the 1990s. The evidence is all now in. Trump has not testified in his defense. His lawyer presented no witnesses before resting. Late Thursday, the judge has given Trump until 5 p.m. on Sunday to change his mind. That's not going to happen. The jury expected to get the case on Tuesday. And remember, only if the jury unanimously believes E. Jean Carroll's account can they find Trump liable and award her damages. Carroll has had many witnesses, including herself. One of the most poignant moments, she told the jury, quote, "Women who don't come forward, one of the reasons they don't come forward is they're asked why they didn't scream. Some women scream, some women don't. It keeps women silent. I'm telling you, he raped me whether I screamed or not. I don't need an excuse for not screaming." Carroll had testified that her friend Lisa Birnbach was her first phone call after the alleged attack inside Bergdorf Goodman, and Birnbach saying, quote, "I whispered, E. Jean, he raped you. You should go to the police." She was a critical witness in the case. And, you know, critical if the jury believes that Carroll made that call back in the 90s, makes it much more likely that she wins. A major point of the trial has been Carroll's inability to put a date on the alleged attack, even a year, something Trump's lawyer Joe Tacopina has challenged. Carroll, I wish to heaven we could give you a date, Tacopina, regarding this alleged crime time frame. You don't know, obviously. Fair to say the exact date of this incident. Carroll, I wish I did. It's been an intense 2 weeks. Carroll has laid out her story. Trump's team challenged it. And by the way, the defense, in part, has focused on what she did after the fact. For example, in 2012, she was making jokes on Facebook about having sex with Donald Trump, which, Jesse, you and I have talked about this before. I think if there's one thing where these jurors say, I've got doubt here, and remember, it's not a reasonable doubt standard. It's who's more likely. Civil case.
Of the evidence.
Yeah.
50%.
I think if, in the end, that the jury does not find him liable, they're going to be looking not just to the not being sure about the date and the year, et cetera, but also about the fact that she was, you know, making jokes about having sex with Donald Trump.
Look, she put a compelling case forward. She had witnesses who testified in her support. I think Joe Tacopina and the defense team did a really good job at not only showing inconsistencies, but the timing of this, right? This is after he entered the political realm. She's making jokes about him. You could argue that it's political because the people that she allegedly called also criticized Trump. Now, look, I think that there's going to be a unanimous verdict. I do. This is a civil case. I can't tell you who, but
come on.
Well,
you think,
I can't tell you who.
Come on.
Tell you.
Of course you can.
Okay.
If you're going to tell me there's going to be a unanimous verdict, you got to pick one or the other.
They're going to find him liable.
Okay.
Why? This is a New York jury.
Yes.
Okay. They didn't really put on much of a defense. I think the video that was played in court of Trump's deposition basically reinforced everything that she said.
And remember that what happens is because Trump didn't testify and didn't present any witnesses, they can cherry pick which parts of the deposition they want to play.
Yes.
And that's the only stuff that the jury ends up seeing. So the jury only ends up seeing the stuff that E. Jean Carroll's team wants them to see. Because Trump isn't allowed to just play the video. He can show up in court. He can testify.
Yeah. And I got to say, the parts that they played is he kept, I don't mean to laugh.
No,
he kept saying, she's not my type, she's not my type. He said to the lawyer in the deposition, you know what, you're not my type either. So the whole idea...
And it turns out that the lawyer's gay.
Correct,
right?
yes.
And so that's, but more importantly is the picture.
Correct.
So he makes a point where he says, she's definitely not my type.
Meaning E. Jean Carroll, yeah.
And then there's this picture that's introduced of them together, and he points to the picture and he thinks that that's his ex-wife.
I don't even know who the woman, let's see, I don't know who, it's Marla.
You say Marla's in this photo?
That's Marla, yeah. That's my wife.
Which woman are you pointing to? No, that's
Here.
Carroll.
Oh, is that?
The person you just pointed to was
I
E. Jean
see.
Carroll.
Who is that? Who is this?
Point, your wife. And the woman on the right is your then wife.
I don't know.
Ivana?
This was the picture.
Ivana.
I assume that's John Johnson. Is that?
That's Carroll.
Because it's very blurry.
So it just goes to his credibility, and this is a whole case about defamation.
Yeah, there's a picture. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.